Hello, welcome to my video. My name is Ashley Stallcop, and I'm going to read my essay titled The Wicked Friendship of Identity and Self-Love. Self-love and identity are like two best friends. You must first recognize and claim your identity before learning to love yourself. Self-love and identity takes us through a substantial transformation of self-acceptance, which we see in Wicked. Wicked recounts a past time when the Wicked Witch of the West, Elphaba, and Galinda were close friends. Elphaba faced many challenges of acceptance from her community due to her green skin and special abilities, but dreamed of meeting the wizard to grant her wish to be normal. Treasured by her magical powers, Elphaba is given an opportunity to meet the wizard in Emerald City and takes her new friend Galinda. During their meeting, Elphaba realizes the troubling truth that the wizard and her mentor, Madame Morble, were behind the evil scheme of the animals losing their ability to speak. Elphaba experiences a transformation of identity and self-love when she accepts herself and chooses to stand firm on her values and beliefs. Just as Elphaba endures a personal transformation to self-love and embracing her identity, I have experienced a comparable transformation when I was overcoming my anxiety. I have inspired by challenging societal norms, setting boundaries, and discovering my own self-confidence, I have inspired self-love and strong identity in my community, home life, and personal life. Challenging the societal norms in your community can send a powerful message about identity and self-love. Elphaba feels caged by the societal norms of Oz because of the constant ridicule for being different as a child. She dreams of meeting the wizard one day to transform her to normalcy and be freed from her unhappiness of not being accepted. However, she learns that the validation she seeks from others cannot be fulfilled by her community when she dances awkwardly in the ballroom. Expecting to be greeted warmly, Elphaba realizes that the acceptance she desires must come from herself. By facing the ridicule and expressing her uniqueness through dance, she felt true acceptance for the first time. Like Elphaba, I felt the pressures of our societal norms regarding my current academic and career status. After graduating college, I received a degree in computer science. I felt trapped by my anxiety and the societal expectation to secure a career soon after graduation. This left me unfulfilled and led me to seek validation through my past relationships. My anxiety fueled my self-doubt in my capabilities and encouraged me to people please by sacrificing my own needs. However, by going back to school, I learned to recognize that my anxiety hindered me from embracing and loving my true self. By discounting the social norms pertaining to my current career path, it allowed me to focus on my own unique direction and unearthing what sparks joy. By walking my own unconventional path to my self-actualization that disregards the debilitating social norms, I can motivate my community of friends to walk their own extraordinary journey to understanding their individuality and self-love. Setting boundaries has tamed my anxiety and inspired the ones at home to love themselves and identify what's important to them. To protect what's essential to her identity and secure her self-love, Elphaba sets a boundary with Galinda that she must follow through with standing up for the animals because it's what she believes is right. Without hesitation, Galinda understood and respected her decision. In response, Galinda had made her own boundary that she couldn't join Elphaba on her journey. She cared about what others think of her, and she would have the approval of Madame Morble, which she desired from the beginning of the school year. Like Elphaba, I learned from therapy that setting my own boundaries would free me from my anxiety by valuing and prioritizing what's necessary for me. For instance, I was anxious about living with my boyfriend at my parents' house because of the difficulty of sharing a space. I treasured my time and space, and I wasn't certain how we would balance these elements. Through school, I learned to establish boundaries on my time and priorities. I communicated with him that I needed to be left alone when I was studying and not to annoy me as per usual. Like Alphaba and Galenda's relationship, this strengthened our bond by encouraging him to build respect for me and my values. Setting boundaries on what we value most nurtures the respect we need to attain self-love and identity in our closest bonds, especially the ones we cherish at home. By finding my own confidence within myself, I found a new identity within myself by promoting self-compassion and self-acceptance within my personal life. Elphaba completes her personal journey of self-acceptance as she is falling and sees her reflection of her inner child. Her inner child is the emotional damage from the ridicule she endured as a child and not being accepted for who she was. By reaching out her handful of acceptance, compassion, and support for her younger self, Elphaba was able to realize her identity through self-love. As Elphaba realized her inner child and what she needed to grow, I realized my inner child was not feeling good enough to pursue my desires. For example, I realized a devastating truth that my degree in computer science did not fulfill me, which left me feeling hopelessly desperate without a path to financial independence. But through the challenges of school, I found a new identity within myself that was inspired by a career in business or graphic design. This quarter in school has empowered me to acknowledge my accomplishments, which has elevated my self-confidence and bolstered my anxiety management. By recognizing my accomplishment, it has allowed me to uncover my identity and to show compassion towards myself, therefore leading me to self-acceptance. Elphaba's transformation resonates with many personal journeys of self-acceptance through exploring identity and self-love. By defying societal standards, establishing boundaries, and unearthing my own self-confidence, I have triumphed over my anxiety by instilling self-compassion and identity within my community, home life, and personal life. By choosing to walk my own path away from conventional standards and towards a road of self-actualization, I can inspire my friends to create their own yellow brick road towards discovering their uniqueness and self-love. By implanting boundaries on what we require to nurture our self-regard and identity allows our closest bonds to strengthen and grow in respect, especially the connections we prize at home. In discovering a new confidence within myself, I found compassion and individuality through appreciating my achievements. The path in self-acceptance is an unending journey, but reminding ourselves to find appreciation and love in our imperfections will push us to reach our full potential. And that's my essay. Okay, so reflect on how your final essay shows your writing and critical thinking strengths and challenges. I would say overall, I think it's shown how I improved on my vocabulary and my wordiness, especially for my last essay. And overall, I think I've come like a really far way, and I think I've also improved like maybe my critical thinking by really trying to connect Elphaba's experience with my own experiences, even though they're pretty different. Like I've never really experienced like direct ridicule from like people, but I guess in my own way I've dealt with some sort of ridicule in my life. And I think my transitions are also better. I mean, I use the word like by a lot, which could be better, and I do repeat a lot of words, so the vocabulary could also be a little better in some areas, but I think there are some strong vocabulary words in my essay. But yeah, overall I'm like pretty proud of what I've been able to accomplish. Like my anxiety was telling me I wouldn't be able to finish this in time, but here I am recording this video. Now state what grade you believe you earned with this final essay and why. For the amount of effort and time in thinking about this prompt, I think A for effort, but for the overall work and for what critical thinking I provided, I think I deserve a B. Like, I think there can be some improvements. But yeah, and then reflect. Reflect on your overall experience this quarter, including what assignments were easy, hard, fun, frustrating, insightful, and so on. I'm honestly pretty appreciative and relieved how straightforward how a lot of assignments were. I don't think it was like a really heavy workload, which I can appreciate because I can get overwhelmed easily. And one of my other classes was very overwhelming, and so the fact that this class was not as overwhelming was very nice. Although I did have a hard time conceptualizing some of the topics, because I don't know, maybe it's like my perfectionism anxiety speaking, like it has to be perfect. But in the end, this quarter taught me everything doesn't have to be perfect. Everything's a work in progress, even ourselves are. So but it was a little bit annoying to have to write a paragraph in the middle of the week. But I don't know if I would change anything about it, and I'm glad I got through it. And I also think by writing on some of the topics we talked about, I went through a sort of personal growth aside from improvement on my writing. So yeah, I don't know, I think overall it's actually kind of a fun, insightful class. So yeah, and then conclude by sharing how you have developed as a student this quarter, if you have perceived shifts in your abilities, challenges you overcame, challenges you faced, and so on. Yeah, definitely. It was a challenging quarter because I basically had to relearn everything, relearn how to manage my time, prioritize, because I did go to school before, but it's been so long, I've forgotten how to do it, and I probably also never really learned how to do it well in the beginning. So yeah, it was a process to learn how to do it. And yeah, I don't know, I had the challenge of facing my own anxiety, with because I really wanted to do well in all my classes, and I don't know, I guess be perfect. So but I think this quarter taught me, we're not always perfect, and it's always a process, and it's okay if not everything's perfect, and it's okay if you fail, because when you fail, you learn from those experiences. And one of my classes this quarter, I took Intro to Business, and that was very challenging. It was a whole new way or perspective of thinking about business, and it's something I'm not used to because I'm very meticulous about my work, I guess. So yeah, and I don't know, yeah, I think this quarter has this essay says, has really transformed me, and I'm glad I was able to take all the classes I did and to do well in them. So yeah, okay, thank you for watching my video. Okay, bye.